now as well. We haven't spoken, we haven't done this video interview for a couple of weeks due to my summer break, but quite a bit has happened obviously since then. You know, you've celebrated Ukraine's Independence Day. We've written an article about that, but you know, that was a major event, and I know it was celebrated or marked here in Luxembourg as well. And quite a few things have happened as well with LUkraine asbl, this new training course, accounting. I think we'll do a separate article about this later, but still it's interesting. Maybe you could speak later about the different
I'll just
courses.
give like an introduction, but it's
Yeah.
mostly in the way we approach the refugees, because it's different, and the course is just a part of this approach, part of our strategy. And Sasha will give you a more detailed interview with details. I think it's better because he's in charge of this course, so he knows every aspect of it.
Yeah, perfect. And I think it's just started, right? It started on Saturday or on Friday or on Saturday. So it's
Yeah, it started on Friday, last
yeah.
Friday. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll discuss more about that with Sasha. That's great. And then I think a main thing is obviously what's going on in Ukraine right now. With the, well, we have the IAEA inspection of the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant. We have Russia's Gazprom shutting down Nord Stream 1 pipeline. A lot of talk about winter coming up, and Europe is, yeah, there's protests in Czech Republic. You've got, I see a little bit of division there. So, you know, people who are still obviously supporting Ukraine and not wanting to buy into, you know, to fuel Russia's role in this, but others who have different views, let's say. And another aspect is then school, because school has already started in Ukraine, I believe, although it's taken a very different format
Yes.
than it
Yeah.
used to. And then children are coming back to school here in Luxembourg. And one thing I wanted to ask now or later was about how people in Luxembourg can continue to support Ukrainians in Luxembourg and the association, because obviously, you know, donations had waned a little bit during the summer holidays, and now people are coming back, hopefully fresh and ready to do something. So maybe we can start with what have you been up to these last couple of weeks as an association, and what your strategy is now for the next couple of weeks as people return to school and to work?
Yeah, we can start with this if you want. So,
A few different things I mentioned, so we can just jump in. But
yeah, actually, the last 2 weeks were quite the same as the last 6 months. So we were working. It's a non-stop job, so you cannot say it was easier or more difficult. It's a constant work, but we had some quite interesting events, and among them, of course, it was Independence Day of Ukraine. We have marked this actually really special day for Ukrainians during the hard times, to show that we are still here. It's important to us to be together, to support each other, and that's why the format that we have chosen was mostly like a family meeting, celebration, commemoration of those who have fallen in the fields for the values that we all share, and actually for our families, for our friends. And I think that the event went quite good. We had a lot of people, refugees with children, who came and enjoy some moments of unity. And that's what the Independence Day about. It's being together as a big family and to support each other.
perfect. And obviously, like you said, that took on, well, like you indicated, it took on a whole new meaning this year, because I mean, yeah, the whole idea of independence and staying an independent country and not being invaded, I mean, it has a new meaning this year.
Exactly. So it's a true fight for independence, and I think it's even much further than just Ukraine.
Yeah.
So it tends to me that people forgot the history. So yeah, hopefully the things will take their place, like the good things. And I'm talking about, of course, the liberation of Ukraine and the liberation of those people who suffered from this new imperialist ideology that has threatened Europe for the last decade, I must say. So if we take all the conflicts in Georgia, in Ukraine, in Syria, etc. So peace should be found.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And yeah, and so going forward, I mean, recently we spoke a little bit as well about this Ukrainian culture hub and potentially reopening the Ukrainian school. Has there been an update there, or some other big plans, or, well, they're all quite big, but some other exciting news that are coming your way?
Well, during our press conference on 23rd of August, we already announced some good cooperations with Donetsk Regional Administration and the National Police of Ukraine and our partners RTX3D. We keep this bus, actually, so we have sent a fire truck now this week. We are planning to buy another fire truck that will be sent to Ukraine. And yeah, those are the continuous efforts. If we talk about the Ukrainian school, I think we are on a good path. So maybe like beginning October, we could start over the Ukrainian Saturday or Sunday school. We still haven't chosen the date, and it will allow also for Ukrainian children to be more more attached to Ukraine, of course, and to get some more support. And the Ukrainian hub, we are still developing the whole concept, but I must say that it's very interesting, and the possibilities that it may provide for the Luxembourg society as well as for Ukrainian society are really interesting. So I think we will be announcing the opening of Ukrainian hub when we got the main issue solved, which is the space.
Yeah.
It's not very easy to find a space to incorporate a hub which combines a lot of different parts, and where we put the human being in the middle.
Yeah.
And, yeah, but I can talk about the concept of the Ukrainian hub.
That would be great, yeah, to see how that's developed since the last time we spoke, and yeah, what you envision it to be.
It hasn't changed a lot, I must say. The concept is always the same. So we want to create a place where the Ukrainian culture and Ukrainian society meet the Luxembourg society, and it creates a common product. And of course, it's not only the place of cooperation, but all the place where you meet, when you spend time, where you can work, you can show yourself to Luxembourg and to the whole Europe. So we want to create a product in the end that will help rethink the role of a refugee, or actually the time being of refugee here in Luxembourg. So instead of being an obligation, we want to create an asset. And that's why we say it will be a co-working space, a space to meet, a space where we can do some theater shows, where artists can create their masterpieces, etc. A place of collaboration, but mostly it will be a hub of unity. So and it will be Ukrainian hub of unity. So we are really excited, but there are of course some obstacles in front of us, and we hope we will be able to cross them.
Great. Well, like you said, you're very exciting and a unique concept, not only in Luxembourg, but kind of in Europe as a whole, or even across the world. It's quite unique. So that's brilliant. And yeah, hopefully we'll hear more about that soon. I think you mentioned fire trucks, and also obviously you hit recent milestones with the ambulance project. So this is part of this agreement. You're continuing this project?
The ambulance project is still being continued, so we cannot stop. We cannot allow ourselves to stop. Yeah. And the fire trucks, actually, they go inside the memorandum with the Donetsk Regional Administration, because being able to extinguish the fires and save people goes well with our main objective is to be able to save human lives. And why we thought that not only ambulances but also fire trucks are those vehicles that are needed in Ukraine right now. Of course, those are not the only ones, but at least we can provide those from Europe at the shortest period.
Perfect. Yeah. So before we maybe look at what's going on in Ukraine, obviously the war is going on, and the developments, it's continuing. It's not easing, and we're going into winter. But maybe you could first talk a little bit about LUkraine asbls. I think it's the same as always, your main priorities, but kind of now in this period going into September with hopefully with people getting fresh energy. What are your hopes that maybe more people will, come back and support, and what are your priorities right now?
Exactly. We hope that people have had a good rest, and they're able to help us in our initiatives to save Ukraine, save Ukrainian lives. And we encourage people to contact us to donate for our projects, and hopefully it will restart after a 3 month break, because the war has not ended yet, and unfortunately it will still take some time to get to an end.
Perfect. Yeah. And you let me know at any point if I've missed something, because I know I mentioned quite a few topics at the start, so feel free to jump in at any time. But obviously looking
No, the Ukraine asbl part is so we have so many directions, and we try to concentrate on each of them, because we do understand that the winter is coming, as you said, and of course we have to be prepared for the winter here in Europe, but also in Ukraine, because in Ukraine we still have a lot of places where no electricity, no gas, and no water. Actually, that's a major problem, and we need to deal with this. Yeah.
And what is your reaction, kind of, or what would you say to people who might be at this stage? I don't know. I mentioned the protests in Czech Republic. That was just an example. But to some people who might be thinking more about themselves this winter, that what is the cost it's going to be for me, what is an important message you would like to share, that why it's important to see the bigger picture, to continue to support Ukraine regardless of this gas situation, oil situation.
Well, actually, what I hear a lot is people are saying because of the war in Ukraine. And I must say that it's wrong. It's not because of the war in Ukraine. It's because of Russia. So I think it's people should understand that the Russia is doing those problems to them as well.
Yeah.
And in Ukraine too. In Ukraine, we are even on the totally different level. If people are thinking here that everything gets expensive, in Ukraine we think that your life can get to an end tomorrow or any moment, and that's quite different levels. So I urge people just to compare the difficulties that they encounter, and to find a good explanation. And this explanation is not the war in Ukraine, but Russia as a state, as a new threat to the whole Europe.
Yeah, I think
so. I think we cannot. Well, the values that we have acquired in Europe for the last decades, and that we have protected and promoted, we cannot say that okay, we forget now about those values. Otherwise, it will stay only about money. And if we think only about money, we just forget to be human. So just think about those people who are fighting for their lives to be able to stay and live at their homes and to be alive. And this is something which matters more than the prices for gas for some period. And I think when we solve the problem with Russia, when the war has ended, I think we will find solution. We in united we can always find a solution.
Perfect. Yeah, I think you're right about this different narrative and why, again, it comes back to why language is important, how you phrase things. It's, whether it's the war in Ukraine or if you look at the reasons for that and what's leading to it. Yeah, just checking. Yep. So we've got now coming back to Luxembourg. Obviously, you'll be busy with all these many projects and activities, and obviously we're looking forward to as well at Chronicle.lu interviewing some of your colleagues, some of the project coordinators like Sasha and Elena from the summer camp, which was obviously a great success. And hopefully you'll build on that with this Ukrainian school then in the next couple of months. So yeah, maybe we could talk a little bit briefly about school. Obviously, most children in Ukraine will be studying online already from the 1st of September. Is that right? That's when it normally starts?
Yes, the school in Ukraine starts on the 1st of September. It has already started. In some places, children had to start the school in the shelters, underground, and some of them online. And this is the first time in our history that this happens. And I wish that no children experience any of those moments, because it's the children is. They are not like, let's say, psychologically formed adults that can digest the information and think about it and keep going on.
Yeah.
Those are human beings that still need to be educated, to be carried off, and I really worry. I think that our future depends on those children, and I want them to live a peaceful childhood, and of course to be able to finish school. Many schools, I think over 2,000 schools now are being declared as non-functional due to the bombings and challenges in Ukraine. So we'll definitely work to rebuild them after the end of the war, because Ukraine is quite educated nation. So I think if we take the number of university institutes in Ukraine, it's one of the highest numbers in the Eastern Europe, and we want to keep these positions in Europe, because we do understand that education is very important for our future. Here in Luxembourg, I wish that in Luxembourg school system, the history took the subject of history took a bigger part. So thus the children would know what are mistakes not to be committed in the future. Because I have an impression when I talk to other people that they forgot those black times during the Second World War, and which brings us to this, subject of oil prices or gas prices. This is not the biggest price to live in peace.
And yeah, those wars, they weren't even that long ago, let's say, and we're experiencing one in Europe right now, but even those were just, in the last centuries. So it's it's difficult to be forgetting. All right. Thank you very much, Nicholas.
Thank you, Jasmine.
Thank you.